and that is Cass Elliott, one of the promoters out in Winnipeg. Lived in Nova Scotia, took his travels over to Vancouver, and is now in Winnipeg, continuing hip hop culture. And we had a further conversation talking about how he came to choose hip hop culture, and the reason why he resonated, he sort of gravitated towards hip hop culture was because he sort of saw himself as an outsider. He was a little taller than the rest of the kids, ended up playing basketball, and everybody else in Nova Scotia was playing hockey, and the music sort of spoke to him at that point. And ever since, the welcoming arms of hip hop sort of took him in. He carried that through. One of the questions that Wiz started to talk about when he was talking about was the fact that there is a larger appeal of Canadian hip hop to the average Canadian. So I guess my question for the panel in this open discussion topic is, what facets of hip hop culture do you see having the most appeal to Canadians across Canada?
I would have to say the fashion, I think, is like one thing that always jumps out. Is that like, for example, if kids see Jay-Z wearing like this like nice shirt, say like this black shirt, all of a sudden kids are gonna start rocking black shirts. Like even if you go back to Nelly when he had the Band-Aid, and all these kids started rocking Band-Aids under their on their cheeks, even though like they had no cuts. And so that's like one thing that just jumps out to me, is just even like the fashion aspect of it.
Definitely.
Of the culture.
Any of the other panelists, any facets of hip hop?
Well, still speaking about fashion, you can take it back to when EMC, making a track on My Adidas. You know what I mean? Like every kid was rocking Adidas. You know what I mean? And then the Adidas tracksuits. You know what I mean? Like to this day, you still see people rocking Adidas tracksuits. And it comes from hip hop. It wasn't a rock and roll song talking about My Adidas. You know what I mean? It was a hip hop song. I'd have to say DJ culture is the next big thing that's really taken over. Now you see the effect of it with schools opening up, and then you got DJ Hero and all these other games that are related to DJing, right? So it's pretty crazy. Basically, hip hop DJing or just DJing is the new rock star. You know what I mean? So that's what I see.
Okay.
I just want to add to that, and not myself per se, but I do hear a lot of lingo and new slang words and new catchphrases being adapted to, every time there's a new hit, like more recently, on to the next one, or, all these Jay-Z references, and,
right.
I think that plays a major role in the way we communicate with one another, and the fact, when we talk about going in on someone, that someone actually knows what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? So, I think that's odd, because if I dared to say that to my mom, she would look at me and think I was nuts, so.
Now, when we look at this panel, and for those people that are listening on 105.5 FM, we're also streaming live at www.toflow.com and www.legionmnm.com for those who want to see the live stream in studio. But our panel is very diverse. We have females, we have Spanish, we have South Asian,
South Asian,
and we have the full spectrum on the panel, and it speaks to the fact that hip hop culture and Canadian hip hop culture has done much to transcend ethnicity, race, community, and things of that nature. Now, obviously in Canada, we tend to hold our own family heritages very strong, but as we start to introduce our own children into Canada, looking at second-generation Canadians and things of that nature, all of us can consider ourselves first-generation Canadians. How does your own family heritage supersede that hip hop influence in your lifestyle choices, or do you find that you have a healthy balance in how you proceed with your life?
Well, for me personally, I think it's just like a healthy balance. I mean, because I grew up East Indian, and so I still have some of my old family values, but still I still have like my hip hop culture and such that I still try to follow and such, right? I mean, with regards to like many even East Indians now that I'm now even noticing, even many younger kids growing up, you can see that the hip hop culture is actually superseding their own culture, and such. So, but I guess at the end of the day, it just like really depends on the person, because like you're always gonna take influences from your parents, like the way that you grew up, but also the music's also like a a big aspect too. So
I see.
If I could just chime in, I have a West Indian background. I wasn't born there, but just most definitely, I think my cultural heritage is pretty much parallel to my Canadian rap upbringing. You know, if you remember, a lot of the, like, if you want to look at Cardinal as an artist, for example, like, a lot of his stuff is heavily, you know, patois influence, and just stuff we say, like, you know, we have our own little gunshot noises and stuff that I see a lot of other people want to adapt now and bring into their, you know, let's say the American scene now.
Right.
It just goes to show that, like, you know, like, I don't know how it is not being West Indian and having a love for rap or Canadian rap culture, but for me, most definitely, it's kind of parallel. Like, the way we talk, our slang, the way we see things, we're a lot of hidden entendres and stuff we say. We never really say things fully on. So I just think that my upbringing kind of even makes me more aware of, like, you know, little nuances in Canadian hip-hop culture as far as, you know, MCs, you know, kicking patois, and I see more of an influence, you know, even guys like Jay-Z, Freeway, and you know, KRS used to do it too. You know, I think me speaking personally on my West Indian heritage, I think it opens my mind up even more to my Canadian side, so I don't really think one takes precedence.
The block is not hot, this is Canada getting colder. The block is not hot, this is Canada getting colder. The block is not hot, this is Canada getting colder.